Hello, dear friends. I'm glad to welcome everyone watching Sotnik-TV this moment. It's November 2nd, 2019. They have started selling apartments in the ghetto of Moscow. The area of such kennel is 11 square meters and the price is $45,000. That precious is named a middle-class housing. Doesn't that insult you? We see several mission drifts right away here. First of all, the term middle class means something different, for example, in Switzerland, where a single adult's annual income needs to be $72,900 to be considered a part of that. In the US, that amount takes $50,000 and in China $28,000. As of 2015, that amount takes $18,000 in Russia. And these are the 2019 numbers in Australia. 66% of the population are considered middle class there. The 2015 numbers indicate that more than 55% population are the middle class in Italy, Britain and Japan. For the US, that number makes 38 and 11 for China as of 2015. As of 2019, an average annual income in Australia is 40 to 100,000 Australian dollars. That makes 30 to 80,000 American dollars per year. That is the income of a single Australian adult. So talking about a middle class in Russia makes as much sense as talking about some mammoth in Yakutia or in the wild steppe of Transbaikal region. Those are long extinct. And the middle class is almost gone from Russian Federation. Considering the level of pressure on business and the immigration of the most active ones, departing from Russia massively starting 2012 when that giant Putin's Godzilla returned. A middle class can consider some good and decent apartment, totally different area. Just so that you know. That may even be a house, but not some chamber in ghetto. The second drift is them saying, take a look at Japan. The apartments are tiny there. Excuse me, but the territory of Japan is small as well. The area of Japan is 378,000 square kilometers. The population slightly exceeds 126 million people. Compare that to the territory of Russia. Forget all those methodological lies when calculating the population, and you'll see that the real number is much less than the declared one. That would be good to have around 100 million people residing in Russia. That is a quite optimistic number. So 11 square meters apartments mean a quality shift to a chamber system in the conditions of a prison camp. With line talks about some middle-class housing. Just to compare, in the US in 1972 they tore the last house down, with the floor space less than 16 square meters per man. And do you know what the reason was? The court officially considered such housing humiliating for a person's dignity. That was year 72 of the last century. Hey, Putinists! Here's the conclusion. According to all the parameters, Russia has shifted to the level of Gulag, the imprisonment territory. Do you remember political party Our Home is Russia? Our home is prison from now on. That is the party that needs to be created. Not United Russia, but United Prison. Requalifying a country into a prison is something really comfortable for Putin and his circle. First of all, there are no revolutions in prisons. There only occur escapes and riots. Then, once a riot occurs, they have all the ground to suppress that as cruelly as they wish. That's a very comfortable thing to explain to the rest of the world. They would turn the Phytocanthropus snout to the civilized world and say, "Look at what those savages were doing at our prison camp. That was a total outrage, really. Look at the brutality level. They have spilled the guts of the prison governor. Now what was that?" No one will sure tell a word about the prison administration mayhem. Just like that story of Private Shamsuddinov. No one will tell a word about that dehumanizing led by propaganda. That is convenient. And the West will shake his hand and accept that. That will express concern and make a very comfortable and liberal conclusion. That shouldn't be so, dear Chekists. That shouldn't be, Mr. Putin. Those protesters went out of control, of course. Those are the wild species, but still you shouldn't treat them like that. Take it easy on people, though. Here's another story of today that looks a bit absurd. Let me read that. The concept of socio-economical development of Russia by 2020, prepared by the Ministry of Economical Development and accepted by the government in 2008, turned out unrealized. The plan for 2015-2020 was to take Russia to top 5 world GDP leaders. Those were the goals the country was supposed to reach, according to Rosbalt agency. An average monthly wage for Russians would make $2,700 by 2020. A family of 3 would have at least 100 square meters housing. More than half of the population would become a middle class. The experts have already named the concept a breakthrough scenario that would make Russia a leading world state by 2020. That was the quote of state-sponsored Rossiyskaya Gazeta from 2008. The changes were going to take place in 3 stages. Years 2008-2012, breakthrough preparation, they would crawl over. Years 2013-2017, the breakthrough. It's hard to imagine. Do you remember the amount of crap broken through during that time? So the breakthrough occurred in reality. Since 2018, they planned on consolidating the achievements. End of quote. Let us catch our breath and stop dreaming. Now we need to tighten the belts and to open the wallets. Make your payment, comrades. Ring your last nickels. Turn green with patriotism. There won't be no breakthrough. They didn't make it. It looks like the end is near for all the houses around. And Putin has nothing to do with that. The enemies did that. And those will be detected, found and punished for sure. Those may be appointed as well, but that doesn't matter, as they will be punished anyway. And for now, the $2,700 a month are cancelled. So sorry, bro. They didn't make it. The conclusion is no fun. As I've told before, what we see now is Russian Empire dying and fading away, hallucinating brightly before the death. And the further it goes, the brighter it gets. The death penalty will return. The anti-Western propaganda will grow. The spy fleas will be caught all over the body of the concentration camp. The internet technologies will roll back to the past, to the level of the mid-past decade or even to the beginning of that. And while the rest of the mankind is going to create and develop new technologies, the Putlak camp will implement the old Soviet concepts, that are 40 to 50 years old, trying to trick itself as well as the West, giving those for something breakthrough, innovative and new, trying to frighten the civilized world with that novelty. While the civilized world will be popping its eyes out looking at all that, watching that circus that won't be that harmless, by the way, as the savager would be armed, and what he would have in his arms would make no difference. Would that be a super modern laser beam or an atomic bomb called Little Boy, designed in 1945? The world will keep turning away and shutting itself out decisively, covering itself with a coat from that creep. And the creep will accelerate the steps. His steps will become stronger and more triumphant. That will impose some exit permits inside that cave. That will return to the Soviet passport desks. Then that will start eating human flesh with enthusiasm, getting even wilder. The one thing is the logical consequence of the other one. And all that construction goes straight to hell. There's the 100% guarantee, with all those talks about the transit of rule and how the West ruins it all for us, and how we won't make it without Putin. Remember that Putin won't leave. That's as plain as ABC, so just remember, that's an axiom, as there's more or less of him in every Soviet. So he's sitting in Spasskaya Tower, aiming at each and everyone, aiming at everyone walking around that camp. He's aiming as a guard aims at a prisoner. That sure makes you scared of him, pulling the trigger. Walking around that exercise yard inside that prison obediently. And that makes your unwritten deal with Putin. He doesn't shoot you. And you don't even try to set a bomb under those camp towers, as that would be considered an extremism and everyone wants to leave. Can a will to survive be a reason for a contemptuous judgment? Who will judge you? Because I won't. I'm not judging you. You wish to live, and that is a natural thing. Yet I feel sincerely sorry for you. Those were the news. Of course, I urge all of you to be careful, as the times are dark now. The times are really heavy and dangerous. I'm not trying to scare, but warning you. Take care of yourselves, take care of your close ones, and stay out of those provocations by Putinists. Saving yourself is the goal, as that regime will certainly crush. That will crush terribly, and after those inhumans are gone from the territory of the former Soviet Empire, it's important to have some people remaining. I really hope that you'll make those people, as some will have to start repopulating, starting the new population of Russians, on the territory that won't go nowhere, of course. I really hope that you'll be those people. We'll meet in 1 week. Take care.